President Buhari congratulates Obaseki for his state commitment to free, fair elections. Edo governorship election in the state was generally calm and peaceful. Bandits on Represa kidnapped 42 persons in Zamfara state on business. Federal government releases registration schedule for beneficiaries of the Survivor Fund. And on the international scene, Nigeria to mobilize NYSC members, 17 iconic leaders to champion implementation policies at grassroots. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the election process in Edo State, which led to the victory of Governor Godwin Obaseki, as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The president congratulated the winner and urged him to show grace and humility in victory. In his reaction to the outcome of the election, President Buhari reinstated his commitment to free and fair elections to enshrine a good foundation for the country's political and moral well-being. He commended the people of Edo State, the party's candidate, and security agencies for conducting themselves responsibly. Governor Bello Mohammed Matawale Marado of Zamfara State has described the victory of Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State at last Saturday's gubernatorial election as a triumph of democracy and a well-deserved feat. In a congratulatory message to the governor, Matawale said the hands of the clock shall continue to tick forward for the People's Democratic Party, and that the last election in Edo State was a lesson elsewhere for those who still believe in power-mongering. Our correspondent Peter Phillips has more detail.
He said he was not surprised at the outcome of the election, considering the overwhelming acceptance of the PDP by members in the last primary election, which he personally conducted for the party in Benin. He congratulated the Edo State governor and wished him a successful tenure ahead. He also congratulated the good people of Edo State for the wonderful outing on Saturday and the brilliant performance at the polls. He admonished the governor to continue building the good work for the benefit of Edo people in line with the laudable manifesto of People's Democratic. Peter Phillips, reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, on Wednesday said that for Nigeria to surmount security challenges confronting it, traditional rulers in the country should be given specific roles to be enshrined in the Constitution. Mr. Lawan stated this in a welcome address delivered when a visiting delegation from the Argungu Emirate paid a visit to his office at the National Assembly, Abuja. According to him, giving roles to traditional rulers will allow them support the effort of the government and security agencies in addressing the challenges of insecurity in the country. Traditional fathers have always been supportive of government. In the past, the northern part of the country, the traditional leadership played a key stabilizing role in administration. Before 1976, when local government were created, the traditional leaders brought both administration and management into focus, and we still need them. The Police Service Commission says there was enough presence of police and other security agencies at the governorship election in Edo State held Saturday, September 19, 2020. The Commission, however, noted that the continued deployment of unarmed security personnel at voting units exposed the election to serious threat in some locations. The Commission covered the 3 senatorial zones and visited 132 polling units in 9 local government areas of the state. The Commission received 53 calls and 32 text messages to its 3 dedicated telephone numbers for the election. There were an average of 3 policemen in several polling units, while in many of the units in Edo North, there were an average of 7 to 10 policemen. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakub, has commended all stakeholders who made Saturday's Edo State governorship election a success. Mr. Yakub gave the appreciation while winding down INEC Situation Room on the Edo governorship election in Abuja on Saturday. The chairperson reminded all stakeholders that there is no respite yet for all, as the attention would be shifted to Ondo, where another governorship election will be held on October 10th. He said 3 weeks after that it will be a series of by-elections in 11 states on October 31st. Mr. Yakub challenged all INEC staff members and participants in the conduct of elections in the country to prove that the success in Edo is not a fluke by the standard in the conduct of elections. The Kaduna State government has declared 3 days mourning for the Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Shehu Idris. The special advisor to the Governor Nasir El-Rufai on Media and Publicity, Mr. Muyiwa Adike, announced this in a statement on Monday. Mr. Adike said the public offices would open as normal on September 21st and September 22, but there will be a public holiday on September 23 to honor his memory. According to him, flags will fly at half-mast during the mourning period. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the Emir died at the 44 Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna, on Sunday at the age of 84. The remains of the monarch have been laid to rest at his palace in Zaria, besides some past emirs of the emirate. The funeral prayers was led by the chief imam of Zazzau Emirate, Alhaji Dalhatu Kashimu, in the palace at about 5:35 p.m., attended by thousands of people.
Kowa tashi bagana akan mai mutuwa sarkin Zazzau Alhaji Dr. Shehu Idris yana faɗin cewa adalin sarki mai tausayi, sarki mai imani, sarki mai tausaya ma talakawansa. Yau gashi an gani, ni da kai muna tahowa a mota tun daga kofar doka yadda kasan ana tafi taron idi, haka ake takowa a kafa. To sai da muka zo wannan wuri muka cewa ai tunanin da ake nemi mutuwa sarki yau ne mu'ujizarsa take bayyana irin da Allah Ubangiji ya halicce shi a matsayin na bawon shi.
Among those in attendance were El-Rufai Secretary to the State Government, Balarabe Lawal Abbas, Speaker of the State Assembly Yusuf Zailani, and other top governmental functionaries. The Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, led the federal government delegation, consisted of Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika, Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed, Environment Minister Mahmoud Mohamed, and Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garuba Shehu. Also at the palace was the Emir of Kano State, Aminu Bayero, and heads of military and paramilitary formations in Kaduna State. News Agency of Nigeria reports that the late monarch, who was the 18th Emir of Zazzau, was the chairman Kaduna State Councils of Chiefs. Alhaji Shehu Idris was coronated the Emir of Zazzau on February 15, 1975, and has ruled Zazzau Emirate for 45 years before his death. Meanwhile, Alhaji Dr. Shehu Idris was born into the family of Malam Idris Aucha, who was sometimes called Autan Sambo and Hajia Aminatu. Idris Auta's father was Sarikin Zazzau Muhammadu Sambo, who reigned from 1879 to 1888, and Auta's father was Sarikin Zazzau Abdul Karim, who reigned from 1834 to 1846. Alhaji Shehu Idris started his education being tutored by 2 Islamic scholars in Zaria and then continued with formal studies at the Zaria Elementary School. He was at the elementary school from 1947 till 1950. During this period, the young Idris lost his father when he was 12 years old. He continued both his Quranic and formal education and enrolled in the Zaria Middle School in 1950 and finished studies in 1955. He then attended Katsina Training College to become a teacher. In 1958, he was a teacher at a school in Hunkui and then taught at a few other schools in Zaria. In the 1960s, he was a private secretary to Sarikin Zazzau Muhammadu Aminu. He was also appointed as the secretary to the Zaria Native Authority Council in 1965. In 1975, he was bestowed the title of Dammadami Zazzau and was appointed the district head of Zaria and Kiwai. Alhaji Shehu Idris succeeded Sariki Muhammadu Aminu in 1975. On 10th January 2015, he celebrated his 40 years coronation anniversary On 8 February 2020, he celebrated his 45 years coronation anniversary. Shehu Idris, who celebrated his 45 years on throne in February 2020, died on Sunday morning, 20th September 2020, at the age of 84 at 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in Kaduna around 11 a.m. May his soul rest in Jannatu Fidausi. The Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, on Sunday afternoon led a group of ministers and senior government officials to Zaria to represent President Muhammadu Buhari at the burial of the Emir Alhaji Shehu Idris. On the delegation were the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed, Environment Dr. Mahmoud Mohammed, and that of Aviation Senator Hadi Sirika. Also on the delegation was the President's spokesman Garuba Shehu. The team was received on arrival at the School of Aviation in Zaria by a Kaduna State delegation led by the Governor Malam Nasiru El-Rufai. Conveying the condolences of the President, the Chief of Staff said the late Emir had paid his dues to the nation. He said his enviable roles in nation building and the unification of Nigeria will never be forgotten. Zamfara State Governor Dr. Bello Matawalle Marado has received the sad and devastating news of the passing of the 18th Emir of Zauzau, Alhaji Shehu Idris, at the age of 84 years following a brief illness. The governor also said only last week, on Tuesday 15 September 2020, he received similar sad news of the death of the 28th Emir of Biu, Alhaji May Omar Mustafa Ali, who died at the age of 80 years. Governor Matawalle expressed shock over the passing away of the two distinguished royal fathers, which he described as a double tragedy which created an unquantifiable vacuum in the country. He particularly commended the significant roles played by the two monarchs in ensuring the indivisibility of Nigeria and their great contributions in finding lasting solutions to the acts of terrorism and banditry during their historic reigns. President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan has expressed his condolences with the people of Zauzau Emirate over the passing of their highly revered Emir Alhaji Shehu Idris. Mr. Lawan also commiserated with the entire people and government of Kaduna State on the death of one of the highest-ranking and respected traditional rulers in Nigeria. During his long reign, the departed Emir applied his wisdom and prestige to enhance peace and transformational development in Zauzau Emirate. He will continue to be remembered for his dignity, integrity, and boundless love for his people and commitment to their well-being and progress. The Senate President prayed Allah to grant his people and family the fortitude to bear his loss, forgive his sins, and accept him to Al-Jannah Fidausi. Bandits have kidnapped 42 persons, including women, in Gobirawak Chali village in Maru local government area of Zamfara State. An indigene of the village, who gave his name as Malam Abdullahi, said the incident happened on Saturday after one AK-47 rifle was seized from a bandit who went to the village for a kidnapped operation. For more on the news, over now to Fauzia Ibrahim.
Malam Abdullahi said the bandit had wanted to kidnap one of the people in the village, but was overpowered and his gun was seized. He ran into the bush and reported the matter to his gangman. The bandit later came in a large number, invaded the village and went from house to house where they kidnapped 42 people. He explained that the villagers had on several occasions been attacked by bandits, who he said had a hideout close to the village. Many people have been killed and properties worth billions of naira chattered away by them. The people of the area mobilized themselves, arrested him and seized his gun, but they failed to report the incident to security agents for further action. The bandit escaped and went back to his people, who later invaded the village, retrieved the gun and abducted the people. Fauzia Ibrahim, reporting for Svtv.
The Joint Action Committee of Unions and Congregation of the Federal University of Gusau have dissociated themselves from a petition written on the university's Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Administration and Internal Council members representing the Senate of the university. The refugee JAC comprises of Academic Staff Union of Universities, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, and National Association of Academic Technologies. For more on the story, Ibrahim Semira reports.
The chairmen of the four unions have in a communique issued after their emergency meeting on Thursday, 17 September 2020, signed the stand of the unions on the issue of a petition claimed to have been written by the concerned members of the university staff. The unions, however, expressed their dismay over the way and manner some individuals are so determined to bring the lasting peace being enjoyed in the young universities to an end. The chairman of the union said members have nothing to do with the petition and are very well satisfied with the way the VC and the management of the university are steering the affairs of the university. Those who write those petitions are not members of any of the unions in the university. Similarly, the members of the university's congregation, which is the third organ of the university, apart from council and senate, and also the largest in terms of membership of staff, passed a vote of confidence on the council members elected by the Senate to represent them in the council and the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Magaji Garba. Samira Ibrahim, reporting for SVTV.
In continuation of the distribution of palliatives to communities affected by the recent flood disaster across the country, Firstly, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, dispatched a team consisting of her aides and officials of Future Assured to Kebbi State to deliver the relief materials and commensurate with the victims. Kebbi State is known to have many flood-prone communities because of the presence of 3 major rivers. The recent flooding, however, affected communities in all the 21 local government areas. Some of the communities visited by the team included Kalgo, Makera, Birnin Kudu, and Argungu. For the first time in 5 months, Nigeria recorded less than 1,000 new COVID-19 infections in a week, a Premium Times review official data shows. Between Sunday and Saturday, September 13 to 19, the country reported 968 new cases, which is a 23% reduction from the 1,372 recorded the previous week, the 38th week of the pandemic in Nigeria. According to data sourced from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, the last time Nigeria recorded a lower weekly figure was the 641 cases recorded between April 19th and May 25th, 2020. For more on this story, over now to our correspondent, Shehu.
Last week's record appears to be an indication that the country is gradually overcoming the pandemic, particularly with the fact that the reduction occurred despite the increase in the number of tests. A total of 31,943 samples were collected for testing last week, as against the 16,035 tested the previous week, a 50% increase. Also, Nigeria has recorded less than 2,000 new cases in each of the past 4 weeks. Nevertheless, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and the NCDC have continued to encourage adherence to safety guidelines. Many Nigerian states have reopened schools, while local and international travels have also resumed at the airports. This can lead to a rise in cases if safety protocols are not complied with, officials said. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has advised countries not to relent in putting necessary measures in place. Shehu Magaji reporting for SBTV.
Still to come your way is the business and the international news, but before that, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back on Business. Aguirita has more detail.
Welcome to Standard Voice Business Update. As the portal for the registration of prospective beneficiaries for the Survivor Fund opened on Monday, the federal government has released the timetable for categories of business to register. A statement issued in Abuja on Sunday by the Project Delivering Office stated that the portal, which opened at 10 p.m., will have educational institutions as the first category of beneficiaries to register. Nigerians interested in the payroll support scheme are to note that the site for registration will be open from 10 p.m. Monday, September 21, 2020. In order to ensure seamless registration process, the Project Delivering Office (DPO) has designed a registration schedule. Registration for payroll support will start with educational institution on Monday and will be followed with businesses in the hospitality industry on Friday, September 25th, beginning from 12 a.m. The portal will also be open to other categories of small businesses from 12 a.m. on Monday, September 28, 2020. The office therefore advised those interested in benefiting from the fund to take note of the schedule and also log on to hipt.www.survivorfund.ng to register for the payroll supportive initiative. The News Agency of Nigeria now report that the Survival Fund is a conditional grant to support vulnerable micro and small enterprises in meeting their payroll obligations and safeguard jobs in MES from the shock of the COVID-19 pandemic. The scheme is estimated to save at least 1.3 million jobs across the country, while targeting an average of 35,000 individuals per state. And that has been on Standard Voice Business Update. I'm Agua Rita.
And on the international scene, President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is to engage the services of National Youth Service Corps members across the country and 17 Sustainable Development Goals ambassadors to champion the implementation of SDGs 2030 at the grassroots. The President spoke Friday at a virtual inaugural SDGs moment convened by the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres during the high-level week of the 75th UN General Assembly. In his video message to the meeting, President Buhari provided an update on the SDG progress in the country, setting out Nigeria's vision for the next decade in fighting poverty, combating illicit financial flows, and ensuring economic recovery amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. He said Nigeria National Assembly has established Committee on Sustainable Development Goals. The National Youth Service Corps scheme is also ensuring that Nigerian graduates actively participate in SDGs implementation processes by serving the SDGs champions at the grassroots. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. President Buhari congratulates Obaseki, reinstate commitment to free, fair elections. Edo governorship election in the state was generally calm and peaceful. Bandits on Represa kidnapped 42 persons in Zamfara state. On business, federal government releases registration schedule for beneficiaries of the Survivor Fund. And on the international scene, Nigeria to mobilize NYSC members, 17 iconic leaders to champion implementation policies at grassroots. That's news on behalf of the production crew and Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garubatunau. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoda. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.